Okay, well, I taught the entire lesson and only looked up and discovered that I was not recording. So I get to teach it all over again. So here we go. I'm on page 180 at problem number 17. And the directions tell me to plot the points and determine the slope of the line. So I have a choice here. I can plot the points for sure because that's what it tells me to do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And the other point is 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. And it told me to graph the line, so I can certainly connect the two points. Now, to find the slope, I have a choice. I can do it from the graph. I can count down 3, that's a negative 3. And over 2, that's a positive 2, and get that the slope is negative 3 over 2. That's one choice. Or I can come back and do it algebraically. The slope is y minus y over x minus x, using the slope formula that we had on our handout. And I still get negative 3 over 2. So to find the slope, you can do it algebraically. You can do it on the graph. To graph the line on My Math Lab, you're just going to click on each of the 2 points, and then it'll draw the line for you. Alright, so now I'm going to number 19, where the points are negative 2, 3, and 2, 1. So maybe I choose to do it algebraically. So I'll do y minus y over x minus x. Notice I've got 2 minus a negative 2. So I know that's going to become a plus. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. And 2 plus 2 is 4. And that simplifies to negative 1/2. Let's see if that matches graphically. If I plot the point negative 2, positive 3, 1, 2, 3, and the point 2, 1, then here's my line. And if I count to find the slope, I see that I need to come down 2 and right 4. So that's negative 2 over 4, that's negative 1/2, which is what I got algebraically. Now when you do this, you've got to make a right angle, a square corner. That's what you do when you count the slope. You've got to make that square corner. Alright, the next one that I'm given, number 21, has the points negative 3, negative 1, and 2, negative 1. If I do it algebraically, it's y minus y, so negative 1 minus negative 1 over x minus x, 2 minus negative 3. Negative 1, this becomes a plus, 1 is 0, and 2 plus 3 is 5. Well, 0 over 5 is 0. And I remember from the handout that if the slope is 0, it's supposed to be a horizontal line. Let's see if that happens. When I graph the point negative 3, negative 1, and then I graph the point 2, negative 1, it matches what I thought. It is indeed a horizontal line. Alright, the next one is number 23. And the points are negative 1, 2, and negative 1, negative 2. So if I do it algebraically, y minus y over x minus x, negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. This becomes a plus. So negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And you know that dividing by 0 is undefined. Now, it might say undefined slope. It might say no slope. Those two words are used interchangeably. All right, let's see what that looks like on the graph. I would plot the point -1, +2, and then I would plot the point -1, -2, and yes, indeed, it is a vertical line, which is what I expected since the slope was undefined. Okay? Alright, the next group of problems tells me to graph the line when I'm given a point and a slope. Now, you remember on our handout, wherever it went, here it is, we talked about how to graph a line given a point and a slope, that we would graph the point and then we would use the slope to tell us how to move to get another point so that we could draw the line. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm on problem number 25, and here we go. So I'm going to graph the point 1, 2, 1, 2, and the slope is 3. And when a slope is a whole number, you just put it over 1. Remember, the top number tells you how much to go up or down. The bottom number tells you how much to go to the right. It could be to the left if you were doing negative. So I'm going to go up 3 and over 1, and that's enough to draw my line. So when you're doing this on the graph, on the My Math Lab, you'll plot the point they give you, and then you'll just take the cursor and move it up and over until you get to a new point. Alright, number 29, it gives me the point -1, +3, and it tells me that the slope is 0. Well, I remember from the handout that if the slope is 0, it's supposed to be a horizontal line. So all I have to do is either go left or right, either way, and click on one other point to create the horizontal line. It doesn't matter what point you click on, just as long as you follow that line from the point that you just graphed. Alright, next we're going to look at number 31. And the point is 0, 3. That's right here. And the slope's undefined. So I know that undefined means a vertical line. So I just go either up or down. It doesn't matter. One way or the other. Click on one other point, and then the computer will automatically draw that line for you. Then the next problem we're going to look at is number 39. I need to find a piece of graph paper that's big enough. Maybe this one will work. And what they want us to do here is to find some other points that are on the line. So they give us the point 1, 2. This is number 39. And they tell us the slope is 4. So we're going to make that 4 over 1. So all I have to do is go up 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There you see my line. Well, I don't have enough room. It told me to do 3 more points. I don't have enough room to keep doing, well, I could, but you can also go down and left. If you make them both negative, that would be the same as a positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So all you would do then is just list the coordinates of those points that you created. They gave us this one, 1, 2. So this one is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you could enter the point 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 10. This one is 0, -2. And this one's -1, -6. So you just choose 3 of those, and that's how you do the coordinates for those points. Okay, let me look at the next part of the assignment. Okay, we're going to skip on down to problem number 99 because this is something that we already know how to do. It tells us to find the intercepts and to graph the equation. And we already know how to do that. We know that to find the x-intercept, we're going to let y be 0 and solve for the x. And so I can write that as 3, 0. You have to read the directions. Sometimes they just want you to put 3. And sometimes they want you to write it as an ordered pair. But they tell you whether to enter it as an integer or whether to enter it as an ordered pair. So for the y-intercept, I'm going to let x be 0 and solve for y. And I get y is 2. So that would be the point 0, 2 as an ordered pair. The only one that might give you a little trouble on this one is number 105. And what I want to tell you here is that anytime they're fractions, it is legal to multiply through by the common denominator if you want to clear the fractions. 3x plus 2y equals 6. And you could go from there. You don't have to do that because if you let x be 0 in order to find the y-intercept, then you just need to divide by 1/3 to solve for y, and you could type that in your calculator, 1 divided by 1/3, and you would get 3. So the y-intercept would be the point 0.03. And then you could do the x-intercept the same way. But if the fractions bother you, I want you to know that it's still legal to multiply through by the common denominator. And then it says to graph the equation. So like back up here on number 99, you would just go to the graph, pick the line tool, you would graph the point 3, 0, and then you would slide it up and graph the point 0.2, and it would draw the line for you, and that would be the graph. So that's how you're going to do that group of problems. And that's the end of this assignment, and there'll be another assignment in this same section, so watch for it.